In Absolver, some moves are considered good, others bad, and some elicit various reactions depending on who you ask. But what defines a good move? Is it speed? Damage? Advantage on block? Is there a universal trait that all good moves have? The answer? It depends. Take a look at this deck. Every move in it is considered at minimum good, and a few of them are best in class. But any experienced player can look at this deck and tell you immediately that it is, for the most part, terrible. How can that be if every individual piece of it is supposed to be good? It all comes down to composition, which I'll talk more about later. For now, let's break this deck down, starting from the top. Before we dive in, one quick note on deck terminology. The moves that occupy these slots are your openers, which consist of sequence starters and alternates. In any given stance, your sequence starter and your alternate are called a pair. So your deck has a total of 8 openers, which form 4 pairings. When I talk about a pairing, I'm referring to the 2 possible attack options in one stance. In the top right, we have Cleaver Blow paired with Sidekick. The reason this pair is weak is because both moves are defeated by the same form of defense. They parry on the same side, they absorb with the same timing, and they are avoided in the same direction by 2 of the 3 classes that can avoid. This type of weakness is called a bottleneck. On top of this, they are both fairly slow. If you are in your top right stance and you want to attack your opponent in the middle of their string, you will never hit them before they hit you. Once your opponent realizes these things, they never have to think in order to defend themselves or attack against this stance. In the top left, we have Wobble Low Kick paired with Spinning High Kick. Compared to the other pairings, this isn't actually too bad due to the difference in timing, direction, and height. However, when you consider the moves in the rest of the deck, you'll see that every move in this stance would be better off somewhere else. Wobble Low would be much stronger paired with Cleaver Blow, as they cover each other's weaknesses, and Spinning High Kick fits nicely after Cleaver Blow as a high damage punish upon breaking the opponent's guard. Bakura also doesn't lead into anything safe, and should be paired with a slower move which hits mid instead. In bottom left, we have Low Back Fist paired with Guts Punch. Similarly to the top right, both moves share many properties. They parry on the same side, and they are both avoided in the same direction. The large difference in timing alleviates some of the issues, but there's still plenty of room for improvement. If you look at the frame data of the moves in this stance, you'll find that nothing really complements each other here either. For example, what do you do if you hit your opponent with Wallop Blow? It doesn't have enough frame advantage to make either of your 2 options safe, so once your opponent notices this, they will just hit you every time they see Wallop Blow. Once again, these moves are all good, but arranged like this, they make each other nearly useless. Finally, we have bottom right. Face Back Fist and Liver Knee is the weakest pairing in this deck, and the best example of a bad bottleneck. Once again, they are both defended against in the exact same way. Your opponent does not have to choose which move to use their defensive ability against, as one single input will cover both possible attacks. And in this example, that is true for every class in the game. Additionally, you can't leverage the strengths of either move with the way the rest of the deck is put together. Face Back Fist is a move that often breaks guard, but there's no setup for a strong guard break combo following it here. Liver Knee has excellent frame advantage, but neither of the moves it leads to in top left make good use of that. There are other problems with the deck, but in the interest of brevity, we'll stop taking it apart here. Nearly all of its weaknesses stem from bad pairings, and avoiding these is the most important step in building an effective deck. Of course, there are other nuances that give some moves an edge over others, but those finer details are a topic for another video. So now that we know why this deck is bad, what can we do to make it good? If you were paying attention, you hopefully already know the answer. We rearrange it so each opener is paired with something that covers its weaknesses, and we fill in the rest with moves that enable the strengths of the other connected moves. Cleaver pairs with Wobble Low. Drunk Crane pairs with Sidekick. Low back fist pairs with flute swing, and face back fist pairs with back ura. Then, we place moves that help our other ones shine. Spinning high kick after cleaver blow makes cleaver more dangerous, in turn making wobble low more dangerous. Underknee kick after drunk crane will connect at spacings low back fist won't. Placing wallop blow into liver knee after low back fist not only allows us to apply stamina pressure and use liver knee in an effective way, it also makes flute swing more threatening. And finally, guts punch after face back fist gives us a safe, heavy option to use when face back fist connects. Setting the deck up this way allows us to create situations where your opponent has to make meaningful choices about how to defend themselves, and whenever your opponent has to make a choice, that means they might make the wrong choice, bringing you one step closer to victory. The final product has it all. Strong mix-ups, stamina pressure, guard break combos, threatening feints. It is a flowing deck filled with good, effective moves, but keep in mind that they are only good because of the composition of the deck they are built in. Even the strongest moves in the game can be made useless if this composition is weak. Conversely, moves that are considered weak can be propped up and made more useful, to a certain extent, with the right composition. A poorly composed deck full of good moves will be worse than a well-composed deck made of mediocre moves. In summary, a move is only as strong as the moves that surround it. The move that it is paired with must cover for its weaknesses, and the moves immediately preceding and following it should complement or enable its strengths. If a move and its pair both do the same thing, neither one of them can do their job, no matter how good they both are on paper. A good move forces your opponent to make a choice, and it can only do that if the moves connected to it provide the proper context. Thanks for watching.